So I just got off the phone with another doctor. These poor doctors having to deal with my puffy crying most of our appointment. So this doctor is like an integrative medicine doctor. I just get so emotional because it's been such a ride the past 2.5 years. Nobody being able to help me. Nobody knowing. No one like being able to give me a diagnosis. Oh my gosh, it's one of the most disheartening feelings ever. Just have all these issues and have all these professionals like not know what to do about it. It's been the constant story, and that's like what makes me the most emotional is like, I know, just tell me what the fuck is wrong with me. But it's not that simple. This is a new doctor. I was seeing a naturopath for a 1.5 years without a lot of hope for the regular doctors. And then I went and saw a new doctor with Sutter, who was really helpful. And I felt like it was the first time since my naturopath that I felt heard. All of my symptoms were taken into account, that my like history was really looked into. So one thing I really loved about my naturopath is she went all the way back to when I was a baby, and we worked through every year almost, like what medications was I on, what kind of surgeries, what sorts of issues was I having emotionally, or just like whatever was going on in my life. So it was like very comprehensive. So she knew me really well. And then all of the tests that we were keeping up with, it was a lot. They were expensive. The supplements, they were a lot, they were expensive, but I felt like all those tests really gave me answers, although none of the treatments ever worked. She said I was the first person that didn't respond to the treatments that she put me on. So then I went and saw another doctor at Sutter, and she said, okay, integrative medicine, which I didn't even know existed, is gonna be the best because integrative medicine is a doctor. They've been through like the Sutter protocol, but then they're also naturopaths. So they've done both, is what I've needed for the past 2.5 years. So it would have been nice to know that that existed. So if the knowledge of that can at least help one person, you're fucking welcome, because it was very helpful for me. Well, not as helpful as I wanted. So I literally just got off the phone with her. That's why I'm a cry puffy mess. But I thought that transparency is definitely where I need to be with this. And I've been transparent, but I've also been upbeat about it. But this is like a lot of the emotions that I felt in the past 2 years. Dealing with my health stuff is just more emotion than I've ever felt in my life. I'm a Sagittarius. We don't like to feel emotions. We will swallow that, swallow it down deep, which is a part of my healing process as well. I think it's important to express the emotion in that, and this is as raw as it gets, baby, but if you've been here, you've already seen me at my water fast, so that's probably about as raw as it gets too. So, anywhoosie, I know I'm going all over the place. So this is the integrative medicine doctor. I've had this appointment since February. It's now the end of July, so I've been waiting to see her for a long time. I sent her all of the information from my naturopath. I sent her all of my tests. I gave her a lot of information, and then she had pre-paperwork for me to fill out, and I was like very open and transparent and all of that. So she had a lot of information, and so she's going over all of it, right? And asking me some questions, writing down all of the rounds of supplements that I took, which took me forever to tell her. Forever. I've been on so many freaking supplements. So I get through everything with her. I'm like, okay, perfect. She has like a really good snapshot of everything I've been through with all this stuff from my naturopath, all the things I'm telling her now. My worst symptoms are my face rash. So it's, I mean, you could see it. My whole face is like red. I have some going on here. I do have some like bumps that I get that are like breakouts, but not really. Like this one's a breakout, but then I've got like little other bumps. So it's like little red bumps I get all over my face. Is dryness, where I do like have a patch right here that you can see. That's kind of where it originates. And then when it gets bad, it engulfs my entire eyes, which it isn't super bad right now because I've been seeing a dermatologist who has me on an antibiotic, which is the bane of my existence. I do not want to be on antibiotics, but It's one of the only thing that helps. So I'm on an antibiotic, and then I'm on 2 different creams, which like kind of keep it at bay, but as you can see, it's not like fully gone, but it's not like as raised as it normally is. So I still am able to like cover it, and you can't really see it that much. So my face rashes, because there's multiple, it's a dermatitis and a rash. Other symptoms, I still get very tired after eating certain types of foods, and I need to take a nap. Sometimes I get pain on the left side of my stomach. It's like I forget all my symptoms after every doctor I've talked to will be like halfway through our appointment, and I'm like, oh yeah, here's like another like major symptom that I'm going through. But pain in my stomach, the rash is definitely like stemming from my gut, because certain foods that I eat, it gets like instantly worse, the dermatitis and the rash. So yeah, I guess those are like the main symptoms. So yeah, sometimes after I eat, I have to sleep for like 3 hours. What else? I know that when I first started the last video, which will probably be linked to this one, I was like about to be so excited to tell you about Elaine from Body Talk, and I'll get into that. That's like a happy conversation, so we'll have that another time. And this is a happy conversation too, because I got more clarity. So, okay, flashback to like 30 minutes ago with the doctor. I'm telling her all of the supplements, and she was like, listen, and these are the words, there's nothing else I could do to help you. Not in those exact words, but basically she was like, hey, you've been on everything that I would recommend, so pretty much I can't help you. There's nothing I can do. And that's when I like lost it. Completely lost it, because I'm like, wow, here's another like $350 appointment that I'm paying for someone to tell me we don't know. So I was like, wow, this is fucking fantastic. Like, someone else that can't help me, like, what am I supposed to do? And I have been getting relief from my Body Talk appointments. I've had 2. And I do genuinely feel like she's done more for me in those 2 appointments than anyone else has done. Not only what she was able to pick up on, but also the relief that I had after the appointment. So I saw her once, I saw her 2 weeks later, and then there's now 3 weeks between. I'll see her again in 3 weeks, because I basically saw her the other day. So the naturopath, or the integrated medicine doctor, so I lose my shit, right? I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm emotional. Like, I can't believe you're telling me you can't help me. Like, I've been waiting for this appointment for months. You were supposed to be the one to help me. Like, now what am I supposed to do? What do I do? And she recommended a naturopathic dermatologist, which I'm like, why did no one offer me that in the first place? I've told all of you I don't want to be on drugs. I don't want to be on an antibiotic. I don't want to be on medications. Like, I want as natural as possible, but also there's something that's going to work. Give it to me. I will take it. So more frustration, right? Here's another referral. Here's another doctor. I'm losing faith in all of it. And I'm so grateful for how she handled it, and she handled it perfectly. Not that I was like a maniac or anything, like I'm literally not crying that crazy, but I feel like a maniac, of course. And she just kind of like was talking to me. She knows that I'm a Reiki master. She knows that I'm into more intuitive healing. I forget how Elaine came up, but she had asked me about the Body Talk and what it was, or what relief I was getting from it. So before I told her what it was, I just said, I feel like she's hit the nail on the head and has been able to really help me. Told her what it was and how it was done, and she just was like giving me a lot of praise and giving Elaine a lot of praise for the fact that I found something that worked. That's really fantastic. And kind of throughout the call, this point in particular, she put a lot into perspective for me, because she said, wow, like, you went and did a 10-day water fast. Not a lot of people would do that. And I almost feel bad when I talk about the water fast, because like, it wasn't a pleasant experience, and it wasn't like a relieving experience. You watch, you see that my rash got better. You know, I had energy through it, and I definitely didn't feel as like shitty as I thought that I would. I actually like had, my body reacted to it well, except for towards the end, I started having pains that I probably shouldn't have been feeling in my stomach, and I attributed that to the H. pylori not being taken care of. Like, I just had this feeling like something's still wrong in my stomach, and I started getting angry. I was angry at all the doctors, right? So I felt like it wasn't this life-shattering, like spiritually awakening experience that I wanted it to be, because I've had so many of those experiences, and it was the first time that I think something like that didn't meet my expectations. And so when people ask me about the water fast, I'm not like, yeah, do it, it was great. Whereas before I went to go do it, I was like its #1 fan, right? And when I started meeting people at the water fast and realizing that people were getting off these crazy medications, people were having these life-changing results, I talked to them every day at the water fast, and the fact that I didn't have one of those experiences, like, upset me. I was upset, and I was like, I'm the perfect candidate for this, right? I'm having health issues. I want them to go away. I believe that I can meditate through it and anything's possible. And when the stars align and I put my intention in, like, it's gonna happen. And so the fact that I like did all of that and it didn't happen, I got really frustrated. And I've been frustrated. Like, even now when the doctor brought up the water fast, I was like, yeah, whatever, it didn't work. And she was like, no, you literally did 10 days of fasting. Do you know how many people never attempt that? It's huge. That's huge that your insurance isn't covering these things. I mean, out-of-pocket costs, I just had to calculate, and this isn't even what I've paid to like my Sutter doctors, just more like the water fast and my naturopath and these like alternative things is almost $7,000. And again, that's not including my actual medical, which none of the natural stuff goes towards my deductible. So I think I just met my deductible today, which means that I think I've spent like another $1,300 just at Sutter. So why did I bring up the money? I don't even know what I was talking about, but oh yeah, she was saying you have invested in yourself and really made it a priority to heal. And she's like, I know you're frustrated because you're not seeing the results. And you know, after the water fast, I did have temporary relief. So she was like, hey, it did work temporarily. I get it. And the fact that now I've discovered Elaine from Body Talk, who has actually been the first one to help me. She was like, you know, all of this led you to that, and that's like such a beautiful thing. She's like, I feel your frustration, and you know, the fact that you're a healer and healing other people and not able to heal yourself, like that's a lot. But I wish I could like remember how beautifully she put all of this, but it kind of shifted for me when she said, so she was talking about stress in my life, and I said, I don't have stress other than this, which is basically, I didn't realize how much stress it was. 3 times a day, every time I'm putting something in my mouth, probably more, I'm stressing because I know it's my gut, I know it's my skin, I know I have allergies. So every single time, not only I'm putting something in my mouth, but I spend hours considering what I'm gonna eat and going through like, this is what I want, but can I have it? I do this all day long, and I'm so lucky that this is the only stressor in my life, but it is a huge stress that I guess I didn't realize how much time I'm putting into this energy. So I'm grateful that like my job is not stressful. I'm good at it. So it's like not stressing me out, and I have fantastic friendships, and my family is great and chill and doesn't stress me out. So like I don't have these other stressors that other people have, which I'm really grateful for. Ever since I came back to America 3.5 years ago, I felt it in my gut. Everything I ate made me feel like shit, and I just felt the energy of the food, and I just feel the toxins. I could feel the toxicity after living for a year abroad and like not eating any of that. My mom was making me organic, the best stuff, right? When I first came back, I was staying with my parents and eating like the most healthy food ever, because my mom was like the ultimate health nut, but I was still feeling it. And so that was the day I came back from the States. So that's been festering for 3.5 years. I was home for a year, and then exactly a year later, I went to Israel on my birthright trip, which was a good trip. Oh, my phone is gonna die. Okay, let me figure out how I'm gonna do this. Please.
We got something good.